Let's say you did something that saved billions of people, but you also did something that killed millions of people. Are you a hero or do we vilify you? You saved billions of people, but you killed millions. Meet Fritz Haber, the man who saved billions of lives but killed millions of lives as well. To understand Fritz Haber's story, we first need to talk about bird poop, particularly this bird. This is a seagull. Around the 1800s, a seagull's poop was very valuable. 2 kilograms of this bird's poop was equal to about a kilogram of gold. The reason why this bird's poop was so valuable is because it contains large amounts of nitrogen. Nitrogen is an essential component of all life, here on Earth at least. All life requires nitrogen. It is a key component of our DNA. Nitrogen makes up about 70% of the air. But the nitrogen that is found in nature is not readily available for consumption. Not for us, not for plants. The reason why this is the case is that the nitrogen that is found in the atmosphere comes as a triple bond. So in order for us or other living organisms to make use of the nitrogen in the atmosphere, this triple bond needs to be broken down. But this requires a lot of energy. We get our nitrogen from plants and plants get their nitrogen from the soil. In order for plants to make use of nitrogen, some of the nitrogen atoms that are in the atmosphere are usually broken down by lightning. When the nitrogen bond is broken apart, the two nitrogen atoms will separate, join with hydrogen, and then come down as rain into the soil, and then plants will consume them. Our crops can then make use of this nitrogen. The problem was this process did not occur frequently enough to support the growing human population. There was not enough nitrogen in the soil to support the amount of crops that human beings need. So, for a short while, this bird's poop was the solution to our problems, as its poop contained large amounts of nitrogen. This bird's poop was so in demand that a lot of countries that contained it were colonized. Some island countries contained mountains of the bird poop, and because of this, most of them were colonized, and their bird poop deposits enriched other nations. In fact, there is a law in the United States that says if a United States citizen comes across an island that contains a rich amount of this bird poop, they can claim that island for the United States. The United States military would help them take it. Yes, I said is because this law is actually still in effect. Some of the places were mined so bad that you can barely grow anything on the island anymore. Anyways, most of the islands started running out of this bird poop, and a newer solution was needed, otherwise most people would die of starvation. So for over a century, many scientists tried to come up with a solution to no avail. Then along came this man. His name is Fritz Haber. If you've ever heard of the Haber process, this is the guy responsible. Fritz Haber was a German scientist, and he spent many years working on this problem. Just in case you've forgotten, the problem is breaking apart the triple nitrogen bond so that plants can be able to make use of the nitrogen. Anyways, Fritz Haber worked on this problem for many years, even coming up with newer equipment that could sustain the reaction. And through his work, he discovered the catalyst required for this process to occur. A catalyst is something used in a chemical reaction in order to lower the amount of energy required for that chemical reaction to occur. The catalyst was something known as osmium. Osmium was very rare to find at the time, but Fritz Haber worked for a light bulb company that had large amounts of it, creating what we now know as the Haber process. I'm talking about fertilizer if you forgot. This man made fertilizer, and thanks to this Haber process of his, he became a very wealthy person, and in the process, saving billions of lives from starvation. He even gave Einstein a place to crash one time. So how did he kill millions of people? Well, World War I was on the corner, and you see Fritz Haber, he considered himself a patriot. You see, the Fritz Haber process creates ammonium nitrate, which is a great fertilizer, but if you trick it a little bit, it also makes a great bomb, and Fritz Haber knew this. So he used these facilities to make explosives for the German army. He funded most of this out of pocket. So he was doing this for the love of the game. He even invented very deadly gases to be used against the enemy armies. During this time, his wife unalived herself. Her corpse was found by their 12-year-old son. Some people say Haber's obsession with the war is what caused her to do this, but there is no evidence to support this, as it is noted that she was very unhappy during their marriage. And in his grief, Haber decided that he would put more effort into the war. He opened more facilities and funded much larger operations, created even more deadlier chemicals. But then Germany eventually lost the war, and he lost most of his money because of it. But that's not all, folks. Remember this guy? Well, he hated Jews. And guess what Fritz Haber was? You guessed it, a Jew. And guess who his deadly chemicals were used on? Jews. Due to his military service, Haber was exempted from most things that Jews were being persecuted on. But he stepped down from his military role to empathize with his fellow people, and he soon after died because of heart failure.